October 9, 1941. I, Dr. Meir Teich, head of the Jewish community of Suceava, am recording the deportation process of my people. On Thursday, October 9, 1941, at 5:30 a.m., I was awakened by a bailiff from the prefecture who told me to come immediately to the deputy prefect's office. In the street, I met several Jews who were crying and who informed me that all the Jews in Suceava were to be evacuated that same day. I did not believe them, and I asked them not to spread panic. I reached the office of Deputy Prefect Joachimescu at around 6 a.m., where I found Major Botorwag and the mayors of Bordughen and Itzkan from the district of Suceava. The Deputy Prefect opened an envelope as if he had received it at the very moment. He read it to me and showed me the evacuation order according to which the Supreme General Staff stipulated that all Jews were going to be evacuated from Suceava in 2 shifts, those of Bordughen, Itzkan, and half of the town of Suceava in 2 hours, and the other half of the town of Suceava on the following day. The order set forth the death penalty for any attempt to evade or for those who attempted to leave valuables behind with Christians and Christians who would keep valuables belonging to the Jews. Evacuation order was announced to the population through the roll of drums. When I asked the mayor to preserve the archives of the Jewish community, and especially the civil registries, the communal official told me, "You're not coming back, and even then, you would not be needing such a thing." Jon Jauke, the mayor, having freed Suceava of the Jews, received the Order of the Black Eagle from Hitler as a reward. I found sales publications in the Bucharest newspapers being sold in Transnistria. The prefecture and even the judicial bodies of Suceava, selling valuables left behind by the Jews, wrote about valuables that the Jews had abandoned as if they had left them there on their own free will. Prefect Struiescu later organized a kind of bazaar to sell such quote-unquote abandoned goods. Police Chief Apeutesi and Major Botorwag stated that Colonel Zemfirescu had ordered that even persons unfit for transport should be evacuated. Indeed, old and sick people appeared, wrapped in hospital linen and without any luggage. The chief physician of the hospital, Dr. Bona, was evacuating all the sick Jews from the hospital, even those who were in serious condition. The coachman, Isaac Meir, whose leg had been amputated a few days before, was in agony. He died 1 hour after we left. His corpse was removed at the train station of Czernowitz. Dr. Bona evacuated even his former colleague at the hospital, Dr. Bernard Wagner, who was more than 70 years old, seriously ill and no longer capable of enduring his suffering, and who committed suicide upon his arrival in Mogilev. We also were forced to take on board several mentally ill passengers, and since it had not been possible to identify all of them with certainty, 2 mentally ill Christians were assigned to the transport. Zamfirescu screamed that there should not be any traces left of the Jews. Everything occurred as a result of his own initiative. He screamed, threatened, terrorized everyone. 40 to 50 were packed in each car. At Ataki, we crossed the river into the Empire of Hell. Heartbreaking scenes unfolded at the loading areas and at train departures. Members of families were separated, children leaving, parents staying, or vice versa, brothers losing their sisters, husbands losing their spouses. The air was filled with wails, and this broke the hardest hearts. The separation often was forever, some living to suffer and die, others staying to feel pain and endure slavery. This is how we arrived at Ataki, a place that once was a human settlement, now the hell on earth. There were no buildings, but ruins and scorched houses. The pogrom traces were still fresh. Dead bodies scattered all over the place, scribbles in blood on the crumbling walls. You who see my writing, say Kaddish for me. We got murdered on Kiddush Hashem. Shale Langer, 92 years old, a widely acclaimed merchant from Bukovina, still proud of his achievements, a delegate to the First Zionist Congress at Basel, almost blind, tells me, "How was it possible to exile me from Suceava? I was born in a town. I was an honest man. I worked hard at the store I inherited from my father. I held positions at the local and imperial council. I was always well regarded and loved by my fellow men. I never quarreled with anyone. Dr. Teich, you have to promise me that you will write all of this down and address it to the authorities so we can be sent home. In Suceava, I have prepared our graves. Just the dates have to be carved on a tombstone." He held my hand along the way. Some time later, he died. Alexander Gideon Teich, my dearest, my only wise son, my Gidi, was struck down by typhus. My dear wife Anna Teich took her life. She could not and would not live without her son. They are buried together in the same tomb. Think about those who died looking in their enemies' eyes. Those who were abandoned died alone. Those whose bodies rot on the roadside, never being buried according to tradition. Those who were shot for no reason. Those who perished by famine, cold, and illness. Young children whose last words were, "Bread, mommy, please, just a small piece." These babies, brothers of our friends, died in Transnistria. Gertie's brother, Uzi's brother, Shaul's brother. You did not know the disasters of daybreak, the cattle cars, and the bitter sob of abasement. Accused of a wrong you did not do, of a murder still without a cadaver, a face that has served for all the world as a spittoon. A day will come, no doubt, when this poem will find itself before your eyes. Remember only that I was innocent, and that like all of you mortals of this day, I had too face marked by rage, by pity and by joy, an ordinary human face.
אל מלא רחמים, שוכן במרומים, המצא מנוחה נכונה על כנפי השכינה, במעלות קדושים וטהורים כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים ומאירים, את נשמות יהודים של קהילת סוצ'אבה, שהלכו לעולמם, בעבורם ננדב צדקה, בעד הזכרת נשמותיהם. לכן בעל הרחמים יסתירהו בסתר כנפיו לעולמים, ויצרור בצרור החיים את נשמותיהם. אדוני הוא נחלתם, וינוחו בשלום על משכבם, ונאמר אמן.